Hi guys, welcome to the Life Outside podcast with Marley Butler. Today we have a special guest, Cam Bostock. He's a content creator, long distance hiker, and the newly minted Bibbulmun unsupported FKT record holder. This isn't your first time on the podcast, is it, Cam?
It's not my first time, actually. I've been on a few times, but very happy to be here.
Yeah, you may remember him from episodes 1 through to whatever this is.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of time on the pod. Very excited to be back, and thanks for being here, Marley. Really appreciate you hosting this episode today. For those who don't know, Marley Butler was the previous FKT holder in the unsupported category on the Bibbulmun Track, and I've nabbed it off you, mate.
That's all right. I'm happy to share around.
One of my first episodes of the show, I interviewed you just after you, walked the Bib track, which was literally a year ago, basically to the day since we're recording. And that was such an incredible episode. And we experienced all the pain with you then, and now I've experienced that pain.
Yeah. You were dumb enough to follow.
Well, I don't know. You inspired me, mate. So the stupidity runs through between us, and excited to chat a bit about both of our experiences today.
Really cool to have both of the unsupported people on the pod.
Well, that's it. Like, I don't think there's anyone else on earth that really knows what I went through, and no one else on earth that knows what you went through besides you and me.
Yeah, just us. Maybe those two people who did the AZT.
Yeah, I guess
unsupported.
Yeah, there's a couple. Is the AZT the only other long trail that has unsupported FKTs on it?
It's the only longer trail than the Bib that I know of.
So that was Heather Anderson and...
Ben Brody did it first, and then Heather Anderson second.
Because there's a very small handful of us who have walked over 1,000 kilometres completely unsupported.
Yeah, probably 4, actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. I'm sure a lot of people want to know more about it. We're going to have a bunch of questions from your viewers.
Yeah.
But why do you think more people don't do these crazy long unsupported hikes?
It's a good question. It's insanely hard. It's a really, really hard thing. To walk more than a couple of weeks without any assistance, it's just dumb. Like you said earlier, it is stupid. And that has been this sort of theme. The more people I've talked to about this, like I've met a lot of people on the trail while I was doing the FKT, and it was just like, yeah, this is just stupid. Like, why are you doing this? And I tell everyone, yeah, I know it's dumb. I don't know why I'm doing it. It's just for the challenge. But I think it's very daunting as well. Like, I think a lot of FKTs are done by ultra runners and really good runners. And doing a trail this long unsupported is really it's for through hikers, I think.
Yeah.
And you need to have that through hiking experience to do well. And so I think that's probably what also cuts a lot of people out from doing it.
Yeah, it's a hiker niche, or a particular niche of hiker
niche.
And it's pretty hard to run with 1,000 Ks worth of food on your back.
You can't run with a pack that heavy. And that's why I was drawn to it, and probably why you were drawn to it. Like, we're not professional runners.
Definitely not.
Not even close.
I'm not even a fast hiker, so...
Exactly. And this is a hiker FKT, whereas majority of categories and trails are dominated by runners. So it's kind of cool to be able to use our strengths for a literal world record.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to say anything, maybe like give a quick overview about what you did?
So for those who haven't followed along or are unaware of what both Marley and I have done, what I've done slightly faster.
Massively faster.
The Bibbulmun Track is a 1,000 kilometre long through hiking trail here in Western Australia, where both Marley and I reside. And it's honestly one of the best long trails on earth, at least in my opinion. Beautiful trail, incredibly well maintained, diverse, and also very accessible. There's campsites throughout, and so it actually lends itself quite well to an unsupported FKT attempt because there are shelters and water access throughout. And what's the fastest known time? It's essentially like, there's a website called fastestknowntime.com. They're the governing body of all of these long trail records. And there's 3 categories that you can compete at fastest known time in. The supported category is sort of like just unrestricted. You can have paces, you can have people carry stuff for you. Typically you'll have like a support van that will follow you along the route. There was a couple of supported FKT attempts on the Bibbulmun Track this season as well. Both, Aaron and Mac are going insanely fast.
Incredible, yeah.
I talked to Mackenzie Berger on the podcast a few weeks ago about his attempt, and yeah, the supported category is for runners. You know, you're not going to be walking when you have that kind of support and no weight in your back, so it doesn't quite suit me.
Yeah.
Then there's the self-supported category, which I think you described it well last time as being sort of like the typical through hiker category where you have access to resupply in towns, food drops, but you can't have someone out there with you pacing you, and you can't have that kind of support that you would in the supported category.
Yeah. You can have as much support as is available to everyone else who's just hiking normally, but nothing particularly for you.
Yeah.
And then what the heck is unsupported?
Unsupported is no outside support whatsoever. You can't even resupply in town. So basically you have to carry all your gear, supplies and food from the get-go, and you got to carry as much as you'll need for how long you think it's going to take to walk the trail.
Yeah. So you can charge on the go, get water on the go, but you can't even have people come out and clap you on the back or give you a round of applause.
Moral support is considered support.
Yeah.
Yeah. In-person moral support is not allowed outside of incidental support, I guess, on trail from other hikers.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, there's I guess a couple of exceptions. You're allowed to use public charging outlets in towns to charge your devices up, which I see as kind of just a safety thing and a tracking thing. They want you to be able to track the FKT, and so they allow you to charge.
Yeah. I always thought that was weird, but it's definitely nice not having to carry 50,000 milliamps of power.
Well, exactly. Half your pack weight would be batteries, because you do have to GPS track the whole thing pretty meticulously, especially on a route like the Bibbulmun, which is a premier FKT route, which requires sort of more meticulous tracking.
Yeah.
So you can charge in towns and you can access public water. So, for example, you can use the water tanks at Bibbulmun Track campsites, which is a huge help, meaning you don't have to go scavenging for natural water sources. So that's another exception. You also can use public toilets.
Yeah.
So that kind of comes into the equation a tiny bit, but
and you can use the shelters, and you can use public campsites. I don't think there's any, but you can't use private campsites. Can't pay for anything.
Yeah.
Can't get a coffee at a shop.
That's the worst part. And there's a lot of, the Bibbulmun Track, every track town you walk through the town. So you walk past the cafe, the bakery, the restaurant, the supermarket. And in the unsupported category, you can't utilize those in any way, shape or form.
Yeah. We were chatting just before, and you said the worst part was you just happened to line up going through all the towns in the morning.
Yeah.
Coffee's being brewed, and you just had to walk past.
That was one of the hardest parts for me, is walking past cafes and bakeries opening for the day, and you smell all the smells, and you see people walking in and out, and it's not fun at all, because, as we'll get into, I was in crazy calorie deficits every day. I was constantly hungry and just craving hot coffee and a hot meal.
How many calories did you carry per day?
I carried.
Yeah, you caloried.
It was somewhere between 3,500 and 3,800, somewhere in that range per day.
You would have been burning something like twice that much.
I think 6,000 to 7,000 on average.
Yeah.
Yep. So huge deficit.
Hectic. I saw one of the questions was, how much weight did you lose? How much weight did you lose?
A lot. I lost 9 kilograms. Wow. My estimate was 4 to 5 kilograms. I lost 9. So I weighed in at 93 with an empty stomach before leaving. I'm a heavy fella.
Yeah.
And I weighed 85 when getting back after eating a lot of food.
Wow.
And so I reckon I probably lost more than 9 kilograms, considering that when I weighed myself, I was very full.
Now,
but yeah, close to 10 kgs.
When we hiked the PCT, I remember you saying you didn't really lose any weight on the entire
4 kilograms.
4 kilograms.
On the PCT, which was 139 days.
Yeah.
I was able to gorge myself all the time, and I always carried more than that. I probably carried 4,500 calories a day on the PCT.
Still, people usually lose a lot more. So you don't
What
really...
did you lose on the PCT?
Probably 10 to 15, something like that. I don't really know, but somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to keep weight on the PCT, but definitely not on the FKT.
Yeah.
It was almost 1 kilogram a day.
That's insane.
That's cooked.
Yeah.
I'm shredded right now.
I bet.
I didn't notice it during, but when I got back and I had a shower and looked in the mirror, I was skin and bone.
Yeah.
My wife was shocked. I think people who watch my videos kind of noticed my face getting a bit more bony and stuff like that throughout. But just crazy weight loss.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
All right, I reckon we better jump on these questions.
Yeah, let's crack in.
All right. we got Sam McDonald. What was your mentally weakest moment, and how did you push through?
Yeah, I had a lot of moments that were the mental aspect for me was definitely the hardest. Physically, I didn't get injured. I held up pretty well.
That's
it was
awesome.
very hard, like physically, obviously, but mentally,
You can push through physical pain,
Yeah.
as long as you don't get injured. But
yeah, exactly.
that's when mental comes in. You just got to
Yeah, and I had a lot of moments where it was really tough. I think what I keep coming back to when I think about the hardest moments, it was probably battling sleep deprivation on the last couple of days. And for me, the hardest single moment I think it was the last night on trail, and I had walked close to 200 Ks in the last sort of 36 to 40 hours with not much sleep. And I remember crossing Brookton Highway, which you know very well. For those who know the Bib, you know what I'm talking about. This is sort of the last 70 kilometers of the track. And I was really trying to push for an all-nighter this last night, already sleep deprived. I was like, I'm almost at the end. I'm just going to try and push through the night. I remember getting to Brookton campsite and be like, hey, I'm good. I can keep going. It was about 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I remember arriving at Mount Dale campsite, which is 2 hours later, around 10 p.m. And I got there and I was so cooked to the point where I was like, I think I need to sleep here.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to work it out in my head. I was like, if I sleep here now, I only want to sleep for like 2 or 3 hours. That was my plan. If I had to sleep, I was just going to have a quick nap.
Yeah, fair.
And if I slept at 10 p.m. for 3 hours, I'd wake up at 1 a.m., which sounded horrible to me. I was like, I don't want to wake up at 1 a.m. and do another 4 hours in the dark.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to me right now to try and push one more part, go to sleep at 1 or 2 a.m. and then wake up at sunrise. And then I felt like I could wake up and just go because it would be light. And that was, I sat at Mount Dale Hut for 10 or 15 minutes, staring at the logbook, just battling with myself.
Yeah.
Like, I know I need to keep pushing right now, but all I want to do is stop.
You would have already been sleep deprived.
I
so
was
like decision making.
I'd been hallucinating the last few hours, cooked. And I eventually just like did one of those I just had one of those moments where I'm just like, I took out 600 milligrams of caffeine and caffeine pills, and I just swallowed it without thinking.
Damn,
I'm like, okay, I've taken them now.
Decision made.
I have to go. I'm not going to sleep now.
That's kind of it. Sometimes you just got a decision paralysis. You just need to get past
I just
that.
did it.
Yeah.
And without thinking. And I pushed 3 more hours to Barracking campsite, which was the next camp about 15k away or just under. And that was really, that was probably the hardest 15k probably of the whole trip. I think I kept a pretty good pace still, but you have to climb over Mount Dale, then you have a bit of a climb up Barracking, so there was a few climbs.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm just shot. My
Hilly
legs.
section,
Yeah. But I made it to Barracking, and it felt so freaking good to get there. I remember getting to Barracking, filming a quick video for social media.
You filmed a video there too?
And then I picked about 15 or 20 ticks off my legs.
I
looked down and there was ticks everywhere. I mean, Marley can see it. I've got tick bites everywhere on me.
Yeah,
they're all infected.
Oh shit.
Most of them were from probably that. I pulled about 15 ticks off me, filmed that video, and then I slept for I think 2.5 hours. Woke up about 4, and so the sun rose about half an hour or 45 minutes later, and it ended up being a great decision, I think, because I took more caffeine, and the sun coming up just gives you new life, and I was pretty awake for the rest of it.
So you pushed already a hard day, you're already sleep deprived, you're like, it makes just more sense to my sleep-addled brain to do more.
Yeah.
You did the hardest 15 Ks of the trail, maybe your life.
Yeah.
You just picked a whole bunch of tick off your tick-infested legs, and you're like, I'm going to shoot a video now.
Oh, dude, I just always had in the back of my head, like I wanted to film one video in the morning, one at night, like one at the start of the day, one at the end. That's all. And so I was just in that mode where I got to document this. And
massive props.
I probably looked like a zombie. I think that's one of the videos I looked the worst in when I look back at it. Like my face is drooped, and like you can tell I need some sleep.
You could definitely tell from the size of the bags under your eyes what stage of the trail you were on.
Yeah, it was tough. But luckily that Barracking hut was empty, so it was like I could get in the hut and take my time to film a video real quick and not disturb anyone.
Yeah, I love that. Getting to a hut and it's empty is such a good feeling.
I didn't have that very often.
No, damn.
But I did have it on the last few days every night when it was kind of most important because I was getting in at 12 and leaving at 3 kind of thing. So
I guess it would be late season for like a North Star.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it was pretty quiet on the trail at the end.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm.
And like massive props as well for like pushing at this stage, like just really seeing what you can do. Like you could take like an entire day off
Mm-hmm.
and a half and still just be like well clear of my time. How did you get like the motivation to really push yourself? What were you out there to
I thought about that a lot.
Yeah.
Many times when it was really hard, I was like, I've got a bit of leeway here.
Yeah, massive, man.
But in my head, at the start, I planned a sub 15. That was my goal. I was like, I want to go sub 15 days. And I don't know, I guess at the end, I just felt like I had a bit more in me and I just didn't want to leave anything on the table.
Yeah.
And so I like made a conscious decision that like, I'm actually happy to get injured and leave the trail on day 13. I'm just like, I'd much rather just leave it all out there.
That's it.
And I'd never pushed myself that hard in my life. I've never been sleep deprived like that. So I'm like, I kind of want to experience it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it sucked.
Yeah, just like throw caution to the wind, see what you're like capable of.
Yeah, but like I think 4 days out, I'm like, you know, if I don't stop walking from now to the end, I can go sub 14 days. I'm like, that would be pretty cool.
If you don't stop walking from now till the end.
Yeah. I was like,
no sleep.
I think I could do that. Maybe a couple little naps. And so in my head, I was like, maybe I'll try sub 14.
Okay.
And I didn't get anywhere near sub 14, but I think that mindset got me, close to 14. My schedule had me finishing like 14 days, 22 hours.
Yeah.
And I finished 14 days, 8 hours.
You smashed your A goal. Or like, I guess under 14 became your A goal, but like really your plan, you went well under.
Yeah, I did. And I think it's because I just left it all out there at the end and just killed myself.
Yeah, you really smashed it at the end. Do you think if you had to go back and do it all again, I know a traumatic thought, but like, would you go out faster?
If I went back and like say the season was on for a bit longer and I went back and did it with fitness that I gained from this bib attempt, I could go a whole day faster, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think there's a lot of room to go quicker. If I went with the mindset I'm going to go sub 13 days, I'd have 2 days left worth of food for starters. And I would definitely, I think I'd go out faster. I'd do a few extra huts on some of the earlier days.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a bit left on the table at the beginning. It's hard to say, you know. I think my first week was very similar to your first week, and I think my body adapted really well because I had a lot of rest.
Yeah.
And because my body had adapted and become stronger, the second half became doable without getting injured. And so it's kind of hard to say, like if I did go an extra hut or two on those earlier days, would I have cooked myself? I don't know.
It's a weird payoff between extra distance that you have to cover and less weight that you have to cover as well.
It's unsupported is such a fine balance.
It's kind of quite unknown as well.
It's
people
not
haven't figured
explored.
it out. Yeah.
Because you started with 17 days worth of food.
Yeah.
That's insanely heavy. That's like 2 kilograms more than I started with.
Yep.
And if you went for a 13-day finish, that's another 2 kilograms almost. And
it's that's almost like normal hiking weight then.
Yeah, it is. And so it's this weird thing that lighter weight means you can go faster, and going faster means you can have a lighter weight. Where's the line?
I want to see a graph of this. Like, we just don't have the data, but like...
We have 4 people's data. We need more people to do it, which hopefully they do. I am traumatized by the experience, but I actually would go back and do another one.
Do it again.
Yeah, if someone like... I want someone to go and beat me so I can go again. I actually do.
You can just beat your own record.
I could, but I feel like I don't have that kind of motivation.
Yeah.
I'd need someone to beat me. And I know that there's room to go lower, that I'd do it again.
So we were talking about the different types of FKTs. And like the self-supported for the bib is still kind of in the hiking realm at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, what did you average on your unsupported?
Average kilometers
per day, yeah.
I think it was about 70 a day.
70.
Maybe a tad under.
So do you think if you did it self-supported, I think like Tom's average is like somewhere like low 80s or something like that. What now would be harder, like beating your unsupported record or beating Tom's supported record?
I haven't thought much about the self-supported. It's interesting because a few months ago, I would have said that sub 10 days in the bib in any category is almost impossible. And then 2 guys have gone about 9 days in the supported category.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Tom after he did his 12-day self-supported, and he said that going sub 10 in the self-supported category is within realms of possibility.
I think whenever people try and estimate what they think the possible time is for an FKT, they just way overestimate it. It's always, people are always more capable than what you could imagine.
It's crazy. I think it would be, I don't know. I'd love to have a crack at the self-supported one day as well.
I kind of reckon so it's an extra 15 Ks a day, but you only have to carry 1 day's.
Yeah, you can have as many food drops as you want.
That's pretty comparable.
That's starting with no weight on your back is a world of difference.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to do start off just doing 50 Ks or something.
I don't want to go down that road because
Let's not
I'll start planning something.
We need to go on to the next question quick before Cameron does something stupid again.
Sorry.
Okay, JB Muscat. Did tracking on socials help or hinder your mindset?
That's a good question. I think it helped for sure. It just gave me, publicly announcing that you're going to do anything and then publicly tracking it is a form of accountability.
Yeah, that's true.
I think for sure, I wasn't able to really read comments or DMs as much. I didn't have time or reception on trail to kind of get any motivation from that. But knowing that people were watching my live tracker and following my videos, it helped me for sure. Yeah, it gave me that just underlying level of motivation and accountability to I've got to finish this. And there were times throughout where I was like, it would be so easy to just go home right now. But man, I'd look like a dickhead if I just left on day 5 or left on day 8. I'm like, I'm going to finish this no matter what, basically. I think that was a big part of it, yeah.
I guess in a way it does put a bit of pressure on you as well.
There's pressure, man. I felt it. It's a good pressure, yeah. I think, it's the same. It's the same as in a supported category when you have a pacer there. It's you've got someone running with you. You just got to keep up.
That's true.
It's there's the pressure there, and there's that almost that pride as well.
Yeah.
And that was to a lesser extent real for me with the social stuff.
It's kind of almost like a spectator sport at that point. And you were posting from the trail as well.
Yeah. And I had a live tracker that was live to the hour.
Yeah.
So people just I was cognizant of taking an hour-long break because I'd have 2 dots in the same spot. I was like, that would look stupid. I'm doing an FKT. I got to keep going.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff was actually going through my head.
What was the break strategy too in terms of physical wear and tear and also in towns with charging and stuff like that?
Yeah, at the start I knew I wanted to have a break every 5K. That was my goal.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to push 5K, give or take, and then have probably 5 to 10 minutes off.
That's essentially what I did as well.
Yeah,
I think
I remember you reading about your break strategy on your blog and thinking that made a lot of sense when you have a heavy pack. And so I kept to that for the first week for the most part.
Yeah.
And so my average pace per day was pretty low. But the last 5 to 7 days, I would take very, very minimal breaks.
Yeah.
Once my pack got to a certain weight, sub 8 kilograms, it didn't feel like I needed breaks as much and I could move faster in general. And so I'd maybe take a break every hut for 10 minutes instead of every 5K. So probably more every 15 to 20K I would stop.
Yeah.
And at the hut, I would just do all the chores. I'd sign the logbook, get my water, make a meal or whatever. And by the time I did all that, it'd be 10, 15 minutes. And the last few days, I didn't stop. I pretty much didn't stop. On the last day, signing the logbook took 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I left the hut and I get water and go. So I didn't ever stop. But the last day my pack was 3 kilograms.
That's so nice.
It's basically like walking without a pack. And so you don't need to stop for regeneration purposes.
Yeah.
I did plan the occasional longer break in towns for charging. So I think I stopped in Bailing Up for close to an hour.
Yeah.
So I could charge. And in Dwelling Up, I stopped for almost 2 hours. That was my last chance to charge. And I had a lot of issues with battery.
And you were recording.
Yeah. I also just was, I think I could have been better with my battery, use my battery more efficiently.
So you can charge on trail, but it's time wasted essentially.
It's time wasted. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Sitting at Dwelling Up for 2 hours on my second last day.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Was so hard, but I had to. I had to for navigation and tracking purposes, and then I needed a bit to post as well.
Yeah.
If I wasn't posting, I could have probably charged less. So it's a bit of a weird balance there. But I would make the most of those breaks in towns as well. I'd do a full stretching routine.
There's still breaks, I guess.
I'd eat my meals. I'd just do things that I could while stopped and while I'm charging. And I ended up having my phone turned off for most of the last 5 days, just off all the time, and just turn it on every now and then if I wanted to film a clip or navigate for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now you did mention you went the wrong way at some point within that stretch, I think. Was that because your phone was off and you couldn't use it to navigate?
My phone was off. I took a wrong turn just before Mount Cook. There was a new piece of trail. It was like a 1 kilometre stretch that cut off some road. And
really?
the old trail marker was still at the intersection. But I missed the first turn off, the new trail. I missed it completely, and it was obvious. And then I kept walking straight for a while. Then I came back to the old intersection, and I took the old trail because my map far out, which I was using, had the old trail.
Oh, okay.
And then I got back to where the new trail connected, and I was so confused. I was like, oh, this is not right. And so I luckily had reception. I looked up the Bibbulmun Track website, zoomed in, and I'm like, okay. So I went back along the old trail and then retraced myself back to the intersection.
You would have been stoked about that.
I was so annoyed. I think it was like an extra 2.5K or something.
Okay.
On the last day.
Now, and you, speaking of detours, you walked around Wilson Inlet as well, which adds on quite a bit of compact walking, I guess.
It sucked. Yeah, so Wilson Inlet was the big detour. I had to do 15 kilometres extra on asphalt. Day 2, so my pack was the heaviest it was going to be. My feet took a beating.
Yeah, and I know
absolute beating.
You hate walking on roads as well.
Oh, it's so boring, and it's a highway as well. It was crap. There was trucks zooming past the whole time. I just put in a book and just powered it. But that day cooked me because it was a 66 kilometre day on day 2 instead of a 51 that I had in the plan. And it was kind of like a last minute thing. Like my wife and I went down to check out the inlet crossing the day before I started, and it just wasn't safe.
It was hectic.
It was like I could have swam across, but not with a pack that heavy without getting everything wet.
Yeah.
And it was just not smart. And so I just had to do the detour. It sucked. It really frustrated me, and it played into my strategy a bit at the start. Like I almost went extra on the first day because I'm like, it'll make tomorrow easier. But then I'm like, that's going to ruin my whole schedule. Ended up just deciding day 2 was going to be 15K longer. Yeah. And to suck it up. And I finished hell late.
This is a particular Bibbulmun planning thing too for unsupported, because it's really hard to camp legally on the Bibbulmun. And you just stayed in the huts, so you're beholden to the distances between the huts.
Yep.
You can't stay in towns. Often there's not huts where there's towns, so it's just big dead zones where you just can't camp. So it's hard to change things up and go on the fly.
Exactly. It's very hard to change from the plan that you set out for yourself, the itinerary. I know you camped a bit. You did the work to find out where you could legally camp. Yeah. And you brought a shelter with you. I was, you were very gracious to share with me your planning for where you could camp and stuff like that. And I just ended up deciding that it wasn't worth me taking a shelter and trying to figure this out logistically. I'd rather just have a lighter pack. Yeah. And I had my itinerary set, so it made sense for a sub 15 to just go hut to hut anyway.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, and I went off script.
It looked terrible, but
it made sense, as far as increasing mileage and stuff like that. But I went off script after about a week. Everything changed, and I just had to go on the fly.
I guess when you do longer distances as well, it probably doesn't matter as much. Yeah. But I was I'm just going to do exactly what I want to do if I can. Yeah. But yeah, so it seemed like it worked well.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about a shelter and carrying it.
That's another thing. My thing was I wanted to keep everything as simple as possible. So even I know you brought an inflatable mat. I was I'm just gonna bring a foam mat. I don't have to blow it up. I don't have to deflate it. I don't have to worry about it getting popped, even though that's a very low likelihood in huts. Just gonna bring a foam mat instead. I'm not gonna bring a shelter. I'm just gonna stay in the huts and just simplify everything. I only can stay in huts, so that just makes life easier on the trail and before. And I think that worked out. Yeah.
And how did the foam mat going? I remember I randomly met you on the bib when you were trying it out, and you said you got a great sleep. Did that kind of hold for the?
Yeah, I sleep incredibly well outside in general, and foam mats I have no issue sleeping on. I'm a side sleeper. They're fine for me.
Wow, that's crazy. I wish I could do them, man.
Yeah, it works for me. I don't have any issues. but I cut it down to half length,
Yeah.
which I think I cut it too much. I think an extra panel or two would have increased my comfort quite exponentially for the weight.
But like extra 15, 20 grams. Oh, man.
It would have been like an extra 50 grams for two panels.
Oh, that's too much.
But I think it would have been worth it. Yeah, just based on my whole sleep system. So, I learned a few things about my gear and stuff for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you change?
Yeah, about my gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few things I'd definitely change. I wrote out an article yesterday for my Patreon, and I listed
I got to plug it.
Join my Patreon if you want to read it. But I'll tell you guys now. There was a few gear changes I'd make. I'd ditch my bidet because I didn't use it. I used it twice.
Okay. There's drop toilets at every hut.
There's toilets. They all have toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's 12 grams.
But like, yeah, how much is the bidet?
Yeah, these are the when your base weight's like 2.8 kilograms or 3 kilograms in that range.
I mean, when you're dropping like 600 milligrams of caffeine, I feel like I'd want to have a bidet.
I didn't use it.
That's cool.
I used it twice, and both times I could have avoided it because I had some TP on me.
Yeah, okay.
I would have dropped my pillow. It got a hole in it anyway on day one, and so it
dropped itself.
It was essentially useless. There's this guy I follow, Ezra Johnson, he's going to be next week's episode. I've recorded a podcast with him. He's incredible.
Awesome.
He's extra ultralight on YouTube, and he's like the ultralight king.
Check out last week's episode. Is it last week?
No, next week episode. After this one. First. Yeah, this will come out first. Yeah, yeah.
Mate, the scheduling.
Actually, yeah, it's funny because I recorded that episode a long time ago with Ezra. I asked him, if you were going to do the Bib FKT, what would you do for gear? And he gave me like a little rundown. It was a fun little exercise, but that'll come out sort of after the Bib episode.
Okay, anyway. What was his pillow solution?
But he just uses his food bag as his pillow.
Yeah.
And so I had so much food. I could have made a comfy pillow 90% of the nights with my food. So I would have just done that.
Would you have like put certain like, I don't know, like day 14 and like 15 food or whatever that was like particularly comfortable within like a certain food bag or something?
Yeah, I would have put my Cocoa Pops and milk powder as my pillow. I think I had like 10 bags of that. Would have been comfy, bro.
Just like chuck a buff around it or something?
Yeah, maybe my rain jacket. I didn't bring a buff.
Yeah.
I probably put it in an aloe flume and then rain jacket over it, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
And that would have saved me 60 grams and allowed me to add 2 panels to my foam mat.
I brought like an actual pillow that probably weighed like 150 grams.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Yeah, sleep's important. You got to do what works. And that's why I brought a pillow in the first place, because I sleep much better with it.
Yeah.
I think I gotten away with that. And what else? I took 30,000 milliamps of battery. I think I could have got away with 20,000 if I was more careful with my battery.
Oh, like not recorded stuff?
Not necessarily not recorded, but just like not had airplane mode off as much as I did and just turned my phone off more. I was pretty liberal with my usage because I thought I had plenty, and in the end I didn't.
No.
But I think I could have gotten away with one less battery pack, which is 150 grams for the Nightcore 10,000.
Really? That's like not much power. That's how much I took.
Did you take 30,000?
No, I took 20. Mm-hmm. But like I spent quite a lot of time charging.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you were going out to beat your record now, like time is actually like an issue.
Yeah, I think I could get away with it.
Yeah.
I think because I was forced to have my phone off for like the last 3 days.
Yeah.
I was completely fine not listening to stuff for a lot of the day.
Yeah. I was plugged in the whole time.
I was for the most part, but when I was forced not to, it didn't. Yeah, it was doable.
Oh, cool.
I think I could get rid of one battery pack and get away with it and still film. Maybe that's sort of like edge case, but that would save 150 grams, which is pretty big. Other than that, there wasn't a huge amount I'd probably change. I don't know. I feel like I could probably bring a tiny bit less food for 15 days.
Oh, yeah?
I lost a lot of kilograms. I was hungry, but I wasn't like ever... Like, I never ever felt like I was starving and about to die from hunger. It's like I always had energy.
Yeah, energy levels were good.
Always fine. Probably because of OptiVenture, my supplement.
Oh, yes.
Consistent energy levels, good recovery.
How many grams of OptiVenture did you take?
I brought 70 grams worth.
Yeah.
Which is a 15-day supply.
That's pretty light.
Actually, it's a 15-day supply of the sunrise morning formula and a 30-day supply of the sunset. I double dosed the sunset for extra inflammation support with the curcumin, amongst all the other stuff to help you sleep.
Yeah.
So it was about 70 grams of supplements,
definitely not
including
the
pouches that we provide. So
that's cool.
Shout out OptiVenture, mate.
Absolutely.
Got me to the end of the FK2.
If you're going to go smash Cam's time, get some OptiVenture.
Yeah.
Use his own weapon against him.
Like, you know, Obviously, it's my company, but I actually think it's a cheat code. I legitimately do.
Do you think it should be considered support?
Yeah, it's almost that level. It's almost like PEDs, man. It's crazy.
You should get that tested. Has it been?
Can
athletes use it?
Yeah, you get 100%. It's got all the certifications. It can be used in sport, mate. It can be used in
The
FKTs.
secret's out.
The secret's out. Go buy some.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you're able to keep it in stock now? Because I know it was
We're
gone
in stock, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in stock for the foreseeable future. So
Epic.
actually, you can use Life Outside 10. No, you can use the code Life Outside for 10% off. So
Nice.
podcast listeners get a little boost there,
Excellent.
little discount.
What was like your go-to food? Like I know you had only had what you took with you, but like if you were needing a bump in energy or whatever, or what did you like most?
I really looked forward to my breakfast every morning. I would pretty much not eat much until my first hut of the day each day, which is about 20 kilometers.
Yep.
Maybe I'd have a muesli bar in the morning, that's about it. But I always looked forward to my cereal. So I had a mixture of Fruit Loops and Cocoa Pops with full cream milk powder. 200 grams or 100 grams of cereal, 100 grams of milk powder every day. And that would give me a boost. I'd wait 4 hours in the morning for it. I'd just, get myself excited. Then I'd get nice cold water from the hut tank.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd eat my cereal, and then I'd get to drink choc milk afterwards, or drink my Fruity Loop milk afterwards.
I haven't tried that yet. I've got the oat milk powder and the cereal, and I was going to take it on another hike, but I haven't done it. But I saw like Tom and Maddie do it, and you do it now, and
Tom
Dan
and Maddie
did it. Yeah.
Tom and Maddie opened my eyes to the world of cereal on trail and milk powder in general, and that was the best part of my day, food-wise, for sure.
It's not even hiking food. It's just like the food that you eat at home.
I don't eat that stuff at home.
Okay, but yeah, maybe you shouldn't eat Fruit Loops, but
yeah, it's not great. But man, it tastes good on trail, and
awesome.
It's really calorie to weight. It's really efficient weight-wise. I think 100 grams of milk powder is about 505 calories, something. 100 grams of cereal is like 430.
Yeah.
So for 200 grams, I get almost 1,000 calories and a big hit, mid-morning, and it was great. It gave me energy for the first 2/3 of the day. Always looked forward to it.
Now, nice cold water from the tanks for your milk. What about nice cold water from the tanks from your cold soaked ramen or whatever you eat for dinner?
Yeah, first time cold soaking. You gave me some tips on what to use for my cold soaking jar, which I took. I had my 750 gram peanut butter jar emptied out.
Yeah, so good.
I never cold soaked before this, ever. Was not looking forward to it at all. Cereal makes sense to cold soak because you have cereal cold. So that was normal. But I had a lot of dehydrated meals with me and a bit of ramen. And turns out when you are absolutely starving, everything tastes epic and amazing.
Yeah.
And so cold soaked ramen was the best thing ever.
I can't imagine.
Cold soaked, I had like Radix meals and Strive meals.
Oh,
epic,
cool.
amazing. The most incredible tasting things ever cold.
Yeah.
And I would look forward to that as well at the end of the day. So no issues cold soaking. I feel like if I wasn't in a calorie deficit, I wouldn't enjoy it at all. But I had no issues cold soaking, surprisingly.
Hunger's the best seasoning, they say, or something like that.
That is so true. That is so accurate. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah, I loved it.
Let's get on to another question. All right, Mary Sutton asked, what do you find your...
Birds are lively.
What do you find yourself thinking about the most? Do you intentionally decide there are certain things you want to think about or avoid?
Yeah, especially when the phone's off and I'm not listening to music. I find that I really need to think deeply about something to distract myself.
Do you figure out live?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I do.
Wow, that's awesome.
I try and get in these like little... There's a few things I try and do. Like, I love like planning for the future and like planning what I want to do when I get home.
That's true.
And
It's
like
so much
what
time to think.
projects I want to work on. And sometimes if I come up with a cool idea for like the podcast or a cool idea for OptiVenture or my content or whatever it is, or a trip I want to do, I can think about it for like 3-4 hours and just go through the whole journey of doing that thing.
Wow.
And it's a great distraction. So I would quite often get into these trains of thoughts very intentionally about planning certain things for certain aspects of my life.
I think a lot of hikers do that. Whenever I go on a hike, I come back with like a huge notes list of just like all like cool projects I want to do.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write any notes this trip, whereas I usually do come back from a long trail with a notes list of ideas and projects and plans.
Yeah.
I couldn't really write anything down this time. It was a bit hard.
No, you don't want to
But
use that screen time.
I
battery.
remember most of the stuff I thought about, and I'm going to implement now.
Awesome.
And like, I almost get excited, like when I'm out there, I'm in pain and sleep deprived, but I'm thinking about these things. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to get to the end and I'm going to start working on something new.
Were you thinking about something in this kind of like adult state that now you look back on and be like, what was I on about?
Yeah, there's probably a few things like that where it was all a bit jumbled. But those, I mean, to be honest, those moments I probably don't even remember. Because when I was really sleep deprived, those parts of my hike are kind of blank.
Yeah,
it's like
that's true. You need like sleep to like embed memories and stuff. So.
Yeah, definitely.
What about, did you avoid thinking about certain things?
I would try to avoid thinking about food and beds, but I couldn't.
Coffee.
I would try to avoid thinking about that because those are the things that like made me want to be like, I want to leave.
What about thinking about finishing? You think about that?
I'm very good at not thinking about the end of these kinds of things. So for the first week, the first 10 days, all I thought about was the next day.
That's good.
When you're in the last sort of 20-30% of a trip, and when I was in the last 3-4 days of this, all I could think about was the end. Couldn't avoid it. But I was pretty good with avoiding thinking about the end at the start. All my thought was today and tomorrow, basically, and I spent a bit of time thinking about those days and planning them out, looking at the map and thinking about what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
And never too much about the end. It's just, it's too daunting. You're at day 3 and you're like, oh, I've got 800k left. I'm in agony. Great. It's like, you can't go down that road.
For me, I thought about it pretty early and quite often. And it was actually quite motivating to me.
Was it?
I was like, it'd just be so cool to actually like do something that's never been done before.
Yeah.
Or like to like, set a record. Or whatever. So you think actually thinking about it,
for me,
it's like overwhelming.
For me, it's bad.
Yeah.
Same with any through hike. Like, if you think about the end, it's like, I don't know. For me, it seems like almost unattainable. It's so far away.
For me, thinking about the end of like a through hike is kind of the wrong approach because, like, who cares? You're kind of there for the what it is.
Yeah.
But like on the Bibbulmun,
on an FKT,
like, I feel like I'm not enjoying myself so much, like the day to day.
Think about the end when you can enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. For me, it's very motivating thinking about the end in the last couple of days. But yeah, the first week or so, I would definitely try and avoid it.
That's great. Okay, Ruth Foley asked, how did you observe your mindset shift as you journeyed along the trail? The impact of sleep deprivation, hunger, and physical tiredness.
Yeah, the first week was basically just like normal for me. I was getting enough sleep. I was getting plenty of non-hiking time. I was chatting to people. I was walking slow and relatively short in comparison to the second half.
In comparison to not sleeping at all.
Yeah, well, 60k in a day is not short for most people, but in the context of an FKT it was. So I think everything was kind of normal then, but as it progressed, things just deteriorated for sure. The sleep deprivation I've never experienced before in my life. I've done like one big day before, maybe 2, and sacrificed like one night's sleep or like half of 2 nights sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd never
back it up.
I'd never done it day after day after day where it compounds and it compounds and it compounds. And I definitely, I noticed a big sort of switch in my mind as I got more sleep deprived. I was getting more stressed more easily. Probably by day 8 or 9, I'd noticed myself just like panicking about stupid things. Like everything was a big problem.
It's hard to think clearly, I guess.
I couldn't think clearly. Yeah. I remember calling my wife a couple times, which is allowed.
Yes.
And just getting like mad at her. Like I remember one time Kara's just like, babe, you should just try and get more sleep. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing to say. Like I'm getting as much sleep as I can, but I was like irrationally angry at her on the phone. And I remember just being super stressed about that and stuff like.
It's probably not bad advice, but like, it's like, what do you think I'm doing?
Exactly. That was where I was like, but I got like I shouldn't have got pissed at her. I shouldn't have got angry at her. She's just trying to help. But things like that, I just get angry at things, angry at myself if I made a small wrong turn, like just really stressed. I notice myself getting really stressed, my cortisol rising, and that sort of affects the whole body. You tighten up, and then, as I got more sleep deprived after that, it was just delirium. It was just straight up delirium. I was hallucinating, never experienced that before. The only way I could focus or stay awake was just immense amounts of caffeine, like stupid amounts of caffeine. I had 2,000 milligrams in a day at the end.
Damn, that's a lot.
It's ridiculous.
Could you sleep after that?
When I got home, so I finished at 1 p.m. I didn't sleep till about 11 p.m. that night.
Yeah, okay.
And I had no sleep for
Were
days.
you like shaking?
I wasn't shaking. I think my body was just metabolizing it, but I was wired.
Yeah, okay.
It was a weird feeling of being that sleep deprived to the point of confusion and, just not being able to function properly, but at the same time, just being able to stay awake. It's a weird feeling. Like, I feel like I should have just been falling asleep on my feet because I had that much caffeine in my system, which I've never had before. I was able to stay awake for a lot of the last 3 or 4 days, but my mind was gone, man.
What were your hallucinations like?
Yeah, it was weird, man. You hear stories of people hallucinating all the time, and I've never experienced it. For me, it was pretty much mostly just in my peripheral vision, and it was weird. Like, I would see things light up as if a spotlight had turned on.
Wow.
In the bush, like very in my peripheral vision, so not like straight ahead. And I would see trees and stuff like move, like they were like moving, like they were running basically. So I don't know if my peripheral vision was just like turned off basically, but I would constantly, especially at night, be like, turning left to right, like what the heck was that? What the heck was that? And
even just like hiking at night, you get such like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And like things are shooting past you. Like it's kind of head spinning enough.
Yeah.
Like on good sleep, let alone.
Yeah.
No
it was
sleep.
weird. It was so confusing. And in the day I would hallucinate as well. The same thing. Things would move all the time. Things would move. Just trees, like trees and grass trees and bushes. They would all be moving. And it wasn't like all the time actually. It was just like sometimes one tree would move, or like sometimes, and it was unsettling a little bit. But it was kind of like I was never like scared or anything. I know the Australian bush is completely safe.
Yeah.
And I was cognizant of the fact that I was hallucinating and that I was sleep deprived, and I was like, this is just weird.
Right, it kind of makes sense.
But it was weird to experience like a light in the middle of the night, and there was a bit of like paranoia at times where I was like turning around like who the hell's following me, or looking side to side all the time, or like what's that, like is a kangaroo? No, it's just a bloody grass tree again. Like, yeah, it was weird. It was strange, man.
Don't do drugs, just do the unsupported FKT.
Yeah, sleep deprivation is the best drug, guys. Far out. You can see as much as you want.
All right, here I'm gonna absolutely butcher this name. Abhishek Parikh. Sorry. Oh, what would you do differently if you had to break your own FKT record?
Like I mentioned earlier, I think I could break it. I think I could beat it. I think I could save a little bit of weight with my gear and with taking less food if I planned to go a day or two quicker. So that would be a huge help in and of itself, and it would allow me to probably do a few bigger days towards the beginning.
Yeah, so start a bit faster.
I think I'd start a bit faster. It's an interesting debate whether I'd go Nobo or Sobo the second time, because you went southbound on your FKT, I went northbound. We discussed a bit before we started recording on the pros and cons of both. I think it's pretty close to 50-50 as far as viability of both ways. So I'm not sure which I'd do. Probably just go the same way because I've got experience with that now. But yeah, I would just go out faster. My first week, I would try to average, 64K instead of 56 or whatever it was. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's hard with the huts. It would be a case of like one day I do an extra hut, the next day it would be the same, the next day I'd do an extra hut. So it'd be like, it'd be like 55, 65, 58, 70 instead of 50, 50, 60, 50 kind of thing. And I think getting ahead by, I guess, like between 50 and 100K by the 7 or 8 day mark would be enough to go a day early. I don't think I could push much harder at the end. I think, I mean, look, you can always be in better shape. If I was to do this next year, I would train for longer and harder and be fitter, which would help a lot, especially at the beginning. I think I was pretty much at peak fitness towards the end of this trail because I didn't get injured, so I just got fitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the beginning, I could have been fitter with a bit more training and stuff like that. There's a magpie trying to attack our camera at the moment, so
we might go offline here.
We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I do think, what else would help is if someone beat my record, then I would have huge motivation to go faster.
Okay.
There's a big difference between you and me. You were setting a new record. You didn't have anyone to beat.
Yeah.
I was trying to beat you.
Yeah.
And so that is it's a significant thing.
Having a time. I was just trying to get to the end, and you were pushing yourself like epically, and like
it's real.
You had the fitness. So yeah, you mentioned you had good fitness coming in. You have better fitness now. What kind of training would you recommend for someone who was going to try and do this?
I really think you just need to do a long through hike prior to it. So you had just come off the PCT before you did the FKT. Yeah. Best shape of your life.
Yeah.
I just come back from Europe for 2 months, where in Europe I was thinking about the FKT, and I intentionally made my pack really heavy for all of my hiking, and I hiked for 50 of 60 days in Europe with 15 kg on my back, which is about what I had on the FKT. That was the difference in our preparation, is you trained a lot. Well, your training was the PCT where you had an ultralight pack, and so
the weight definitely
tripling your pack weight.
Yeah, I was definitely, my legs absolutely got destroyed by the weight.
Yeah, whereas my legs were fine with the weight, and that was huge. We just had a brief technical difficulty, sorry for that, but we are back.
All right. There's a lot more questions. The people had a bunch of really good questions, and we're pretty low on time, so how about we just shoot through them all real quick?
Rapid fire.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, Intrepid World, how many diversions did you have to take, and how many extra Ks did it add?
There was actually a lot of diversions. Most of them were really small. In total, I walked 21 extra kilometres. 15 of those were the Wilson Inlet kilometres on day 2. And then there was +1, +3, -2. So there was a couple of smaller ones. There was actually a +7 at the end that reopened the day before I got there at Gringa Creek Hut.
Nice.
So I saved a couple hours of hiking, thankfully. But I had to do about an extra 20, which sucked.
Yeah. Oh man, that river mouth really screwed you over.
It screwed me. It sucked.
All right. Jared Townsend. What was the most challenging aspect? Was being all alone the hardest part when things got really tough?
Being alone wasn't the hardest aspect. I'm an introvert. I like being alone. I can self-motivate, and I was able to call my wife regularly, which really helped, and there was other through hikers that I was able to chat to occasionally, so I was never alone. That wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was probably the sleep deprivation, if I'm being realistic. Like, just trying to push through that was really tough, and then also just having to walk past cafes and towns. That was like physically hard for me. Seeing someone walk out of Heart and Soul in Pemberton with a coffee and croissant, that was tough. Really tough.
No flat whites.
Oh dude, no cappuccinos. It sucked.
All right. Tash Burgess asks, were you allowed to chat to others in the huts, or did you have to remain entirely on your own the whole time?
No, I could chat to other hikers. Yeah, it's like a weird thing with unsupported. Like, there's going to be other hikers on these trails. You can't just ignore them.
No.
It's like, and talking to people is a form of support for sure. Like, it's nice to have a conversation with someone. But the rules state you can't have premeditated in-person support. So you can't have your mates come out and support you and chat with you and walk with you or cheer for you. But you can talk to people on trail. And so that was allowed, and it was really cool to, trade stories with the Bib Track with other through hikers that were going end to end. It was awesome. There was some great people out there.
Did you have a lot of people being like, you're doing what?
Oh yeah. A lot of people were like, I'm walking the trail in 63 days and you're doing it in 15? What the?
Okay.
Or like someone's doing a section that like it takes them 15 days or something like that. There's a lot of confusion and shock.
No.
Yeah.
I know like online a lot of people, it actually wasn't too bad for me, but a lot of people were like, why would you do that? But like, did you get much of that on trail?
I didn't get anyone telling me to smell the roses on trail.
Yeah, it's
No.
funny. It's funny how like those thoughts are just refined to the online space.
It's just keyboard warrior
Yeah.
boomers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but it is. And honestly, it's really rare. When you add up all the positive compared to the
That's
negative,
true.
it is rare.
But like when
It
people are
happens.
actually out there experiencing the trail, they're just like super stoked
They're
for you.
so stoked.
Yeah.
So stoked. Yep. 100% stoked.
That's awesome. All right, Brandon Bennett asked, pacing was next level. How much of your time on trail was hiking versus trail running?
It was 99.9% hiking. I think I ran 10K-ish on the last day at about, a 6-minute pace because I felt really good. I felt good in the legs.
Nice.
I remember there was like a 3K slight downhill bit in the last like 30K that I ran. And I remember my left Achilles like pinged on that. And so I didn't run anything after that.
No.
I thought initially I was like, did I just snap my Achilles?
Oh my goodness.
But it was just like a weird like ping.
That's like my worst nightmare. Actually, I was
yeah.
really scared about stepping on a snake, actually.
Oh, that was another fear of
Because
mine.
that's a thing that would just like end your
It just
hike.
end your hike if you
Yeah.
get bit, whether it's envenomated or not.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
over.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring a snake bandage or anything. I know I shouldn't have said that because I'm going to get a lot of comments about it. But it was like, if I get bit, it's over. I'm leaving. It's just someone's going to have to come rescue me.
Yeah.
It's just like, it weighs so much.
I'll put myself on the line too. I never carry a snake bandage when I go hiking in WA, and I don't wear gaiters. Like if I get bitten by a snake, my response is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to use a t-shirt or whatever to bind it up.
Yeah.
Like I'm calling the SOS. I'm EPIRBing out of there.
And let's be honest, like it is insanely unlikely you're going to get bit.
Yeah.
If you're even, semi-aware of your surroundings, which you should be if you're hiking, especially in Australia. I saw 10 or 11 snakes, but no issues at all.
Awesome. All right. Kim Eagles asks, what backpack do you use and how much did it weigh when you started?
I used the Durston Kakwa 55 litre, which was pretty much the perfect pack, I think, for this. It weighs less than a kilogram and really carried well throughout, whether it was full or empty. Shout out Durston. My pack weighed just over 16 kilograms at the start with food and gear. And then I would usually only carry about a litre of water. So at the most, my pack was probably 17 kilograms with food and water.
That's the nice thing about the bib. Like there's pretty shortly spaced huts at the start when you're heaviest, so you don't have to carry that much water.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to carry much water in general. There's a couple of like 30K sections between huts.
Like going through Collie.
Like
or
the Collie
past
section.
Collie. Yeah.
Yep. Other than that, you have guaranteed water every 20K at the most.
Yeah, it's super
And
nice.
there's more streams as well if you need it. So I've rarely carried more than a litre.
A litre?
Yeah.
Between
That's
like
another
20
gear change
20
I'd made.
Ks.
I had 2 1.5 litre bottles.
Yeah.
And I never ever filled both. I filled both of them up with a litre a couple times.
Yeah.
Never filled it up to the full 3 litres.
Yeah.
So I could have easily dropped that to 2 1 litre bottles.
Massive weight saving of
Yeah,
about 30
couple
grams there.
grams.
All right, Donna Wood asks, what was your safety plan, in particular, when others would need to intervene?
My wife was ready to come down and pick me up at any point if something went wrong that didn't require a rescue. But I had my bivvy stick satellite communicator that I was ready to hit SOS at any point. So if something went wrong, if I got bit by a snake, if I broke a leg in the middle of nowhere, I would hit SOS.
Yeah.
Any other time if I wanted to bail, I would just call my wife and she'd meet me at the nearest access point. So
Kind of no different to any other hike, really.
yeah, no different to any other hike.
Just slightly higher risk of injury.
I didn't have like some sort of like evacuation plan or something. It was just like either I hit SOS if it's an emergency, otherwise Karis will come pick me up within a couple of hours.
Awesome. All right, the Sweeneys ask, on past trails, you had been able to communicate with your wife. Were you able to communicate with anyone on this through hike?
Yeah, so in an unsupported attempt, you're allowed to communicate via the online sphere, the online world.
Yeah.
And so I could call my wife, I could post online, and I did call my wife every day.
Yeah.
We couldn't talk for hours because of battery issues and connection issues. Like there's not that much reception every day. But I called my wife every day, and it was a great boost every time I talked to her.
So like, in theory, someone could be walking like a K behind you the entire time and just like be on the phone chatting or something like that. It's so funny.
Technically. Yeah.
All right.
Just never see them.
Yeah. Harry Russell Favorite song or podcast to listen to while on the trail,
Oh,
other than Life Outside podcast?
I didn't listen to my own podcast. Jeez, I listen to a very big range of music. A lot of different music. You know, a lot of Kanye West, a lot of Zach Seaboy, who's been on the podcast. His music is great for hiking. Depends on what mood I was in. Like sometimes I'd need a bit of like high energy sort of music when I'd have a playlist for that or an album for that. Sometimes I just wanted to chill and zone out. I'd have a playlist for that. I listen to quite a lot of podcasts as well. I listen to this AFL show called True Footy, and a bit of Joe Rogan with some episodes that interested me, and this other podcast I love, The Running Public, was really great. And then just like a lot of people recommended me individual episodes from different things. I also got into audiobooks for the first time ever on trail.
Oh, really?
So I listened to a full fantasy book through, which I've
Nice.
never done. I've done it before, sorry. I've listened to The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, my
Yeah.
favourite books of all time.
Nice.
I've listened to them many times.
Great hiking audiobooks, The Lord of the Rings, especially the bits where like Frodo and Sam are just like drudging to Mount Doom.
The best.
Yeah.
But I've done that too many times, and so I've tried to branch out. I listened to the book Red Rising.
Oh man,
Have you read it?
probably like 5 times.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
You know what? There was one night that I walked extra because I wanted to finish the book. One night.
It's like a high-paced book. It's probably great for this kind of
I
walking.
loved it, dude.
Yeah.
Dan recommended it to me, and
I think I recommended it to Dan.
there you go. And someone else recommended it to me online as well. That was great. I listened to like maybe 10 hours of the second book as well. And I listened to about 10 hours of David Goggins' second book, never finished. And I listened to that book on that night that was the hardest, when I went from Mount Dow to Barracking.
Yeah.
I was listening to Goggins. So
You should there should be a podcast of just like David Goggins just like screaming at you
there
or
should
something.
be. There should be, man. I listened to David Goggins on Joe Rogan as well from like 2 years ago.
Nice.
That was what I listened to at night sometimes. It's just like, sometimes you just need to hear someone.
Hallucinating to David Goggins.
Yeah, exactly. Like it works for me.
All right. Cecil Crapel asks, any dangerous creatures on the way?
The only dangerous creatures are snakes. So I saw dugites and tigers.
Yeah.
Tiger snakes.
Just don't step on them.
As long as you don't step on them, they're not going to bite you. So that was the only issue. But I saw heaps of other animals, wallabies, kangaroos, quendas, lots of different lizards.
Wallabies are pretty dangerous, man. They can shank you.
Jeez. Yeah, you'd be worried if I had a knife.
All right.
Emus, yeah, but nothing. Australian bush is very safe.
Yeah, it is. It really is. No grizzly bears out here.
Yeah.
All right. Lily Sunshine asks, can you share what your emotions were like as you approached the terminus and you could hear the shouts of your wife, friends, and family?
Well, I recorded that. I recorded like maybe 20 seconds of me walking up to the terminus when you can hear the cheers from the people. I wasn't expecting there to be many people at the terminus. I knew that a couple of my mates and my wife were going to be there. There was like 40 people there who had been following my live tracker.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then a lot of mates surprised me. It was, the emotions I felt, just relief. Obviously, I was really happy to see my wife and hug her.
Did you feel emotional at the end?
I didn't cry or anything. I thought I might, to be honest. But I didn't.
Almost cracked you there, but not quite.
No, I didn't crack. I just felt relief. I was very happy to drink my coffee frappe and eat my mum's sausage rolls that she made for me. And it was very exciting to see everyone. I was just happy, man. Like I felt wired, to be honest. Like my adrenaline had a spike when I reached the end, and the sleep deprivation went away for about an hour. Just chatting to everyone, eating, and it was just bliss. Yeah,
Nice.
It was bliss. It was awesome.
A lot of relief,
Yeah.
no doubt. All right. Courtney Tulloch asks, what has your post-walk recovery regime been to help your body recover?
Yeah, eating a ton of food, ridiculous amount of food, too much food actually, but I'm giving the body more than what it needs. Keeping my supplement regime going. I'm back on creatine and I'm taking my Optiventure as always.
Nice.
And protein. I've just been trying to sleep as much as my body wants to, so no alarms or anything. So I've been sleeping 10 hours a day. I say day because I've been napping and sleeping at night. So probably about 10 hours a day since. And every day since I finished, I've done a 5 or 6K walk as well.
Yeah.
So the next day I was able to get out for an hour and a half and walk.
Keep things ticking over.
Yeah, which I think is really important to keep the blood flow moving through the muscles and tendons, and just let the body know that I'm not pushing hard anymore, but still want to be able to move and to just keep making everything kind of work and heal. So honestly, it's like 3 days later now, I think, or 3 or 4 days later now, and I feel pretty much 100%.
Yeah, you're looking pretty good.
I think I feel like I'm a little bit fatigued deep down.
Yeah.
Sort of still. Like
Don't have those reserves at the moment.
But I think I'll run tomorrow and get back into things. Yeah.
The morning after getting out of bed, how was that?
My feet were sore.
Yeah.
My left Achilles was tight. Those were the 2 things that I noticed standing up. And then throughout the day, they dissipated. And I was really groggy. Yeah. I didn't actually sleep that well the first night.
Nah.
I went to bed late, and I think I had 6.5 hours, and it might have been broken.
Yeah. And
then I napped hard the next day.
Yeah.
But I did felt a bit groggy. Yeah, a bit groggy and just a bit slow. And yeah, I was very well looked after though. So
that's great.
I was fed and I just didn't do much, so it was good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've got through all the questions.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thanks so much for coming on the podcast, Cam.
It's my pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me, Marley.
We'll have to get you on again sometime. It's been great to chat.
I think I might be on next week. So
that is fantastic. I look forward to it.
And dude, we'll this will no doubt be won't be the last time you'll be on, because you're next year walking the Continental Divide Trail, right?
Yeah.
Is that locked in?
It's not locked in. It's an ambition.
It's an ambition. Okay.
Yeah.
So
at some stage, I'll definitely do it.
Some cool stuff in your future, and I'm just going to chill for a bit myself. But yeah, thanks for listening to this episode, guys. It was really cool to have you on, Marley. Appreciate you making the time. Yeah, no one better to ask questions about the big unsupported FKT than the person who did it first.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you can get someone else on here who gives it a crack as well.
Yeah, dude, I'd love that. That would be really cool. If someone beats me, if you beat me, you'll be on the podcast. Lock it in.
There you go. There's motivation. I think it's cool. Like, even if people don't beat the record, or it's still like a really cool challenge just to be able to do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's just a cool thing. I met a guy on the bib. Sorry, continue on for a bit.
That's all right.
I met a guy on day 3 who was doing it unsupported.
What?
33 days.
No way.
He had 33 days worth of food.
That's insanity.
So his pack was canvas, military pack, huge.
Wow.
He wouldn't have been much older than me.
Wow.
Mid-30s, maybe.
That's so crazy.
I'm so sorry, mate. I forgot your name. But we chatted briefly. He knew what I was doing, and he was doing it unsupported. Wow. He was almost at the end.
Is he still on trail and going? Good?
No, he'd be done by now.
He's done?
Oh, yeah, sweet, he'd be done by now, I think.
That's so cool,
I met him day 2, I think. Or day,
That's awesome.
So people are doing it for fun.
That to me is insane, but it's awesome.
33 days worth of food, dude.
For fun.
His pack would have been hooked.
Yeah. He must have legs of steel.
Yeah, he looked like a unit. But yeah, go for it, guys. And yeah, thanks for listening to this episode. If you did enjoy it, make sure to follow the show and leave us a 5-star rating. Leave a comment as well below. Leave your thoughts. And we'll see you in the next episode. I'll be there. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.